What's going on, fish nerds? Carlos here, bringing you what should be a pretty cool episode, because as you know, I have gotten some new fish lately, but I've also got some fish that I've had for a real long time that don't really get a whole lot of the limelight here on the channel. So I thought it would be really cool to do a top 5 of my favorite fish, selecting only from fish that I actually have in my possession. So should turn out pretty cool. Let's get started. Alright guys, and coming in strong at number 5 is the Ruby Killi, the Nothobranchius Rubripinnis. This guy is just gorgeous. The camera doesn't do him justice. You see all that ruby color on his fins and body, and then if you get a top side view, he's just got this gorgeous turquoise back color mixed in into his scale pattern, and it is just gorgeous. Just an excellent little fish. And for a killifish, this guy has been incredibly peaceful. He's never given me any problems with the guppies that have been in the tank with him. I've never seen him, fight or attack any of the other fish in the tank, so he's just been awesome. I don't know if that's just this particular specimen or if that's just the species as a whole, but this guy I am really enjoying. Just such a beautiful fish, active, and just really stands out. He is a little bit of a picky eater. Most of the flake foods that I feed, he'll take a bite and he'll spit it out, and he doesn't want to have too much to do with it. So he does prefer the live or frozen foods. Very interesting fish. Easily one of the top 5. And number 4 has to go to the Cardinal Tetras. I love these fish. Just so much color, and they look so good in a planted tank. They just totally pop against the plants. They've got that bright blue stripe, and the red just goes all the way down the body. They've totally got a leg up on neon tetras, in my opinion. And when it comes to that, just so much more color. And I want to get a lot more of these guys. I've only got 7 right now. I did have more in the past, and they've slowly died off. But I want to get a lot more and have a nice big school of these guys swimming in this tank. They just look so awesome. They just have to be in the top 5 simply because of how good a school of these guys look in a planted tank. These guys do great with warmer temperatures, so you can keep them with things like angelfish and German blue rams and discus. They can handle those parameters. Just an excellent little tetra. And get a lot larger than the neon tetras too, so they're safe to keep with angelfish. I've tried keeping neons with angelfish in the past, and they just ended up being expensive snacks. But the Cardinal Tetras definitely get large enough that you don't have to worry about them becoming a snack for your angelfish. And again, I know I've said it, but just look how good they look in a planted tank. Beautiful fish. And of course you guys knew that these guys were definitely going to make it into the top 5. The super red Bristlenose Plecos coming in at number 3. I just love these fish. They've got excellent color. They look great. They look great in a planted tank. Just such an interesting fish. And of course the Bristlenose are among the best algae eaters of all the Plecos. But I have to say, one of my favorite things about these guys is how easily they'll breed. And it's just totally low maintenance, hands off. Put 2 of them in a tank with a breeding cave and feed them, and they'll take care of the rest. And I've just got so many of these, all from one breeding trio. And I've just got fry all over the place in this tank. Several different batches. You can see there's at least 3 different batches on this cave right here. But these are just such a neat little fish, such interesting behavior. I just love these guys. They're interesting in how they look, they're interesting in how they breed. They're functional as an algae eater, one of the best algae eaters in the Pleco family. I love my super red Bristlenose Plecos. And the second place trophy goes to my 2 newest additions to the fish room, the Hemichromis leafalily Mwanda. Not only are these such a beautiful fish, but if you saw my last video, excellent, excellent parents as well. These guys had laid eggs and probably already had wigglers before I started aquascaping this tank. Put them through all kinds of stress while I scaped this tank with, at one point, one of the fish actually ended up pinned in between the sponge filter and the glass while I built up the rock work around the sponge filter and had to tear down the rock work when I realized what had happened to let it loose. And all through that, they guarded their wigglers until the day after I was finished aquascaping. We had free swimming fry. So these guys get Parents of the Year award and easily ride home with second place. Unfortunately, all the fry did get eaten by the guppies that are in this tank once they got to where they were swimming around too much for mom and dad to keep them corralled. But you'll see he's already starting to court her again. I don't know if you saw that little dance he did, but they've been digging out behind this rock right here, and you'll see there's pieces of crushed coral up on top of this rock where he's been getting mouthfuls of that to dig out a little pit back there behind that. And he's been going in and out of there, and he's been dancing around and moving and shaking outside of that trying to court her in. But these guys have just been so cool, so interesting, such a beautiful fish, and I just can't help but be completely impressed with their parenting skills so far. And he's been courting her, but that's not even her breeding dress. She colors up nice and red. I've only had these guys a couple of weeks, and already they have just far away taken the number 2 spot with very little competition. Okay guys, number 1 has to go to my angelfish. Not just any angelfish, but this angelfish. This is Gil. I purchased Gil when he was the size of a dime from PetSmart. So whenever my wife and I bought this house and moved in here, and I set up the very first tank in this house, it was the 30 tall, and when I set that tank up, I went to PetSmart and I saw this guy and I brought him home. And what I love about this fish is not only is he just such a good looking fish, but he's also got a lot of personality. So chances are, if I get up close to the glass, he's gonna try to tell me to back off. Yep. Because I'm in his side of the tank and he doesn't like that. Because that is his area, that's his spot, and he will guard it. He doesn't share that with anybody but her. So it's just him and her over there. He will let, you know, some catfish and plecos get around that log and go back behind it. But as far as just being up in his space, you know, all the tetras, they stay over there unless he ventures over there, then they'll come back over here. But if he's over here, nobody else is over here. So he just owns the tank. So I love how he's got that personality of being the boss and running the show. And him and her have spawned on this Amazon sword plant several times. They do it probably every couple of months or so. But I just love this fish. And he's actually a really nice sized angelfish. For him to have been dime sized when I got him, you can see how much bigger he is than she is. I love this fish. He's my centerpiece of this tank. He's the centerpiece of my fish collection. He is my number 1 favorite fish. Alright guys, let me know what you think of my top 5 favorite fish. If I've got some fish that you think should have made the top 5, let me know in the comments below. Give Gil a big thumbs up. And if you are new here and you like fish keeping videos, make sure you subscribe because I'm throwing out new videos every single Friday. And I've been trying to do some live streams on Tuesday, so make sure you join the notification squad. You guys are awesome. God bless you, fish nerds. I'll see you next time.